Hello and welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Gaming. So today we're going to do a really interesting video where I'm going to give you guys a 3-year account update and try to answer the question, how much does it cost to get everything in Genshin Impact? That question, I'm not going to be doing like a whole lot of math in terms of calculating, exactly how many primo gems and stuff you need, but I'm mainly going to be basing it off of how far along I am in my account, what I'm missing, and how much I have spent in the last 3 years of Genshin Impact. So yeah, we can kind of view this video as a 3-year account update, as well as taking a small peek behind the curtains of how much money you can reasonably feasibly spend if you really want everything in this game. And you can help me justify my whaling by checking out today's sponsor, the best waifu collector on the market, Goddess of Victory, Nikke. Nikke is turning 1 and thus celebrating its 1-year anniversary with the pinnacle of live 2D physics in the industry. Nikke has been surpassing expectations with his deep plot and character assets, and Nikke actually knows how to celebrate a 1-year anniversary with a brand new pilgrim character, Red Hood, multiple new skins, 2 entire new story chapters, and most importantly, tons of free pulls. We're talking about 60 advanced recruitment vouchers, 20 regular recruitment vouchers, and 1 free pull every day on Red Hood's banner. But wait, that's not all. There will be a new story event, Red Ash, which is fully voiced with tons of CGs, a themed anime, and a brand new minigame. And Nikke has always prioritized his community, and they'll be dropping 4 new animes and a Nikke CD over the next year. So what are you waiting for? Start collecting the best waifus on the market and Goddess of Victory Nikke by smashing that link down below. Huge thanks to Nikke for sponsoring today's video. So as we know, Genshin Impact is a very expensive game where if we take a look at, just like how much it costs to do stuff, we have the $100 Genesis crystal packages, which whales like myself have been purchasing for quite some time. For those that are uninitiated with Genshin Impact, if for some reason you're watching this video and you're curious about it, it takes 7 total pulls of any character to max them out. You have 6 dupes that you use to activate a character's constellations, and finally you can pull 5 copies of their weapon in order to get it to refinement 5. Now of course, if you're like me and you've been a day 1 player, you've been grinding dailies, although I've skipped a lot of my dailies probably for a year or so, but basically you're grinding a ton of resources as well, so there is that to account for. And if you haven't been grinding resources, well, you're gonna have to spend a lot more money every single banner if you want to actually get everything. Let's take a look at my account to see what I'm missing in order to also have an idea in terms of how much I could spend on top of what I've already spent to really get everything. So in terms of 5-star characters like Neuvillette, I have him at Constellation 6. For 4-star characters, honestly, I'm just going to skip through them unless there's something notable, like I don't have their Constellation 6. So Kazuha, he's at Constellation 6. We have Yelan, Constellation 6. Zhongli, Constellation 6. Really, the bigger question is, who do I not have at Constellation 6? We have Wriothesley, who is at Constellation 6. We have Aloy, who perhaps someday will get her Constellation 6, but I don't know if anyone wants those constellations. And Eula, Chi-Chi, Ayaka. So we have our first character who I do have his Constellation 6, unfortunately. Now, poor Sino, I'm not sure I'll ever actually utilize his Constellation 6, so I do feel like this was honestly kind of a waste of money for me, which is pretty sad. And we have Yae Miko, Raiden. Now, Baizu is a character who I do kind of regret not getting at least his Constellation 2 just for Neuvillette speedruns. Perhaps for his rerun, I might be pulling his constellations, which is going to be very expensive. And also, it's worth noting that I don't even think I have his signature weapon. Do I? Yeah, so I don't even have his signature 5-star weapon. I believe it's called the Jade False Splendor off the top of my head. And I think you guys know why I don't have it. It's because, it's the Jade False Splendor. pretty much everyone else except for Linny, who I also don't have as Constellation 6. So we can see that I actually took a break from whaling, which will also be reflected in the actual numbers, the dollar amounts that I've spent on Genshin Impact, which I will show you guys in a bit. And then we have Dea, who I did pull to Constellation 6 as well, although I have not activated Constellation 6s. And every single other 5-star character, which I guess we only have a few left, are also at Constellation 6. And just in case you're curious, I do have pretty much all their signature weapons at Refinement 5. Now, in terms of 4 stars, I do think this is notable, but I decided I'm going to be patient with new 4-star Constellation because a lot of 4 stars were released without any 5 stars during a big, long lull period with the end of Sumeru. You can see that a lot of the 4-star characters I don't actually have their constellations, like Layla. Kaveh is another 4-star character, and Kilala is another 4-star character who I don't have their Constellation 6s. So we can see here that my account is pretty gosh darn cracked. And yeah, so now that will also help us calculate, reverse calculate a bit of like, oh, how much it costs to finish this account that we have going for us. Now, a few more things that I need to add about this is that obviously I've been buying the battle pass since release. So, you know, again, this video is going to hopefully give you guys an idea of how much it actually costs to get everything in Genshin Impact since release. A few other smaller purchases like the Welcome Moon, as long as, well, I did get that. And finally, most of the character costumes as well. And a lot of these packets as well that I purchased over the 3 entire years. And another thing worth noting is that I also have been doing max refreshes for pretty much since release. So now it's finally time to answer the question, how much I have spent in Genshin Impact. So for the year of 2020, I didn't even bother accounting for it, because the reason why was because I don't think the amount of money I made on YouTube was really that noteworthy. So I didn't even bother, trying to add up all of it in order for accounting expenses. But I do remember that I used the Play Store coupon for $3 off a packet, and I bought, oh my god, so many of the $5 Primogem packets to save quite a lot of money because I was using up all my Google Play points on Genshin Impact. And my original goal with creating YouTube videos and stuff was just to pay for Genshin Impact. And in my case, I would estimate that I spent about $4,000 in the first few months of Genshin Impact's release back in 2020. But from 2021 to today, I have actually been pretty meticulous about keeping track of how much money I have spent in Genshin Impact. And 2021 was a very expensive year when it comes to the quote-unquote microtransactions for Genshin Impact. And it was a whopping $26,949.96. I didn't go too crazy with getting a bunch of Wolf's Gravestones or going for a specific banner character like Diluc, for example. And for me, I justified it with content creation, all that stuff. To be completely honest, I've never really whaled like this in a mobile game prior to this. My original goal was to, have YouTube completely cover the expenses. And since then, it's obviously gone far beyond just covering the expenses for Genshin Impact, where I can actually justify it, and it's for content as well. So unless you have the financial means to do so, don't be like me, guys. Don't be like me. So next, let's talk about 2022. Now, this was the most expensive year out of all these years, and it was a whopping $28,946.57 to pretty much get everything, in the game in Genshin Impact. Obviously, this is a mind-boggling figure, but I've been aware of how much I've been spending because, again, I've been using it as a tax write-off. So that's why I have it all the way down to the exact cent and everything. So 2023 is a year that obviously is not completed just yet. And I took a break from whaling for a while. I did not pull on a lot of the 4-star characters that you guys saw. And it also, unfortunately, includes my Honkai Star Rail expenses as well, because I can't really tell whether the money I spent was on Honkai Star Rail or whether it was on Genshin Impact. But if I had to estimate, I would say I probably spent maybe about $1,600 to $2,000 on Honkai Star Rail so far, pulling for just every single banner character, at 1 copy as well as 1 copy of their weapon. So do keep that in mind when we look at the current figure for 2023, which is $16,220.04. Now I fully expect this number to go up. So to answer your question, in total, how much have I spent on Genshin Impact? $76,116.57. Now that does include a little bit from Honkai Star Rail. So let's say we knock off, let's just be generous, knock off 2K and we're at $74,000 roughly in Genshin Impact. And to wrap things up, let's also just give a quick estimation of how much it would cost to get 6 copies of Baizhu along with his Refinement 5 signature weapon, the Jadefall Splendor, as well as 6 constellations on Linny, and finally all the 4-star characters as well that I'm missing constellations for. We can just do a really crude estimate and just add about $4,000 for all of it. And adding that $4,000 roughly would lead us to about $78,116.57 as a rough estimation as to how much it would cost to get every single thing in Genshin Impact. And also I really want to thank you guys for, watching my videos and sticking with me all this time. There's so many other awesome and great content creators out there, but a lot of you guys, choose to watch my content, and hopefully theirs as well. Because yeah, if it weren't for you guys, none of this would be possible, and I wouldn't be here making this content, which I do really enjoy doing a lot. So yeah, thanks a ton, everyone. I really appreciate it. And do check out today's sponsor, Nikke, Goddess of Victory. It is their 1st anniversary. I've been playing it, been having a blast, and that's it. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Went to Lose, signing out.